Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be using the Sugarpill Capsule collection and one shade from the Sugarpill Fun Size palette to create this look. It's a very kind of high shine and bold look. This would be perfect for like a night out and going to the club. The lipstick is matte, liquid matte lipstick, so it's not going to transfer while you get a drink. And it's a little fun look. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so I'm going to start with my eyes. I'm going to prime them using the Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer. I'm just going to take a little and kind of put it on my eyes. I like to start with my eyes over my face so that I can have a chance to clean up any fallout if it happens. I'm just going to kind of blend that out with my finger. I'm going to take a big brush and some setting powder. You can use a skin toned eyeshadow if you want. I prefer using setting powder. And I'm just going to set my eyes. I'm setting my eyes so that when I put color down it'll blend easier. You could, if you wanted a more pigmented look, put down no powder and just go straight in with your colors. I find that it skips and it doesn't blend as cleanly. So I'm using a Real Techniques 413 brush just to get some powder on there as fast as possible. So I'm going to kind of brush away any of the excess powder. Grab some makeup wipes just in case. So to start, I'm going to take a Smith 247 brush. It's nice and kind of tapered, and it's big, and I like it for what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in with the shade Baby Doll, which is this light periwinkle shade right here. I'm going to load my brush up and I'm going to go right above my socket line and just kind of buff it in. I'm just going to kind of bring it around the outer edge of my eye so that it can be a nice transition. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Now that I've got that on, I'm going to switch to a Smith 230 brush, and I'm going to go into the Sugarpill Fun Size palette, and I'm going to take the shade Player 1, which is this purpley shade, and I'm going to buff that right into, like, underneath where I put that periwinkle shade. And I'm going to kind of bring it down into my inner corner, kind of on the outer corner. Kind of creating like a halo effect, but not really. So you can see I've got kind of purple in there, and I'm just going to make sure it's nice and pigmented and nice and blended out. I'm going to go back with my old brush. I'm going to go back into that periwinkle shade, and I'm just going to kind of go over the edges of that purple. This will ensure that it's like a seamless blend. I'm going to take a Luxie 231 small tapered brush, and I'm going to go into the shade Undone, which is this dark purple here. And I'm going to take that on the outer corner of my eye and kind of work it in a V shape. So it works up into those purples we just put down. I'm just kind of creating like this darkened outer corner. And I'm going to do this on the other side. And kind of blend it towards the front of the eyelid. Now I'm going to go back in with that medium purple and kind of go over the edges, just reinforcing that gradient. Now I'm going to take a makeup wipe because I have some fallout. And I'm just going to kind of clean up underneath and kind of do a shaping of my outer edge. So, just going to go through and clean that up and kind of shape my eye. If you get some on like your lower lash line, don't be afraid to go up in there and get rid of it. So now I'm going to take so I'm going to take a Wayne Goss 20 brush. It's a little tapered brush. It is clean. I've used a lot of pigmented looks. And I'm going to dip into this blue shade here. This one is called Slow Dive. I'm just going to get it right on the edge of my brush. And I'm going to go right on just that outer corner and work it in to deepen it up just a little bit more. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to go in with that dark purple shade and go over it just to make sure it's nice and deepened. I'm just going to do that. I'm going to go back in with the lightest shade I used, that Periwinkle, and kind of go around the edges so that it's nice and smooth. I'm going to go in with my makeup wipe and just swoosh away the excess. I love Sugarpill shadows. They are very pigmented, but they do sometimes have fallout, so you got to just be careful of that. So now I'm going to take a Smith 253 brush. This is a nice tapered brush. As you can kind of see. Let's do it right. It's a nice tapered brush. It gets you some, it's good for packing on shimmers, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to dip into this shade Cloud 9. And I'm just going to load up my brush and pack it on my mobile lid. So just like that. I'm going to do it on the other side. I'm just going to kind of buff it over and kind of blend it in. I'm going to take that dark purple shade and kind of just reinforce the edges around the shimmer so that there's a seamless blend. Now I know the shimmer doesn't look super high impact yet, but we're going to get there. going to grab my Fix Plus. I'm going to load up my brush with that shimmer shade, like really load it up, like super load it up. And I'm going to take my Fix Plus and I'm just going to spritz it onto the brush. And then I'm going to take it and re-establish that shimmer right where I put it initially, so that it's nice and foiled. And if I feel like I didn't do it good enough, I'm just going to dip back in with my wet brush and get it on. Now I'm going to take a Real Techniques detailing brush, and I'm going to dip into this shade right here, which is called Dream State. And I'm just going to kind of put that right at the edge of the shimmer so it blends into the purple. So now if you look carefully, you can see like a ton of shimmer. I'm just going to take the makeup wipe again, clean it up, and get that all handled. Okay, so what I've done here is just kind of finished it up, cleaned it up, and ran some black eyeliner into my eyes. And we're going to work on the face now. So I'm going to start off by priming, and I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever Nourishing Primer. And I'm just going to put that all over my face. Squeeze them out, dot it on. This is a really good primer for dry skin. You could just moisturize. I haven't moisturized yet today, and I didn't feel like using that since I'm going to take this off right after. So I got that on. I'm going to let that soak in for a second. And I'm going to grab a second primer. This is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. It's all the rage right now. If you're not familiar with it, then it's like a dupe for the Tatcha primer. So now I'm just going to rub my finger in it and put some on my face. And just kind of work it in. And this is just going to smooth everything out, kind of fill some pores, deal with some problem areas, etc., etc. And I'm just going to rub it on. Okay. So before I do my foundation, I like to do a few little things underneath it so that it's a little bit more subtle. So I'm going to start with doing that. I'm going to blend everything out with a Real Techniques sponge. So I'm going to use the Colourpop Pretty Fresh concealer. This is in the shade Fair 07C. I'm not the biggest fan of this concealer, but I'm kind of giving it a fair shot. I'm just going to put it underneath my eyes to kind of cover dark circles. It is a very pigmented concealer, so I kind of want to put it underneath my foundation. And I'm just going to blend it out. And I'm just going to kind of buff it out after blending it up to my lash line. It does a good job of eliminating dark circles, but it does crease a lot on me, and it is very light. The next thing I'm going to use is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter for Superstar Youth Glow. I'm just going to take some, I'm going to take it on the high points of my cheeks, down my nose, over my cupid's bow, in the middle of my forehead, and on my chin. I find that this provides a little bit more natural kind of highlight. And I'm just going to buff it in with my sponge. And just kind of work it out. And then when I get to the high points, I'm going to kind of blend it in a C shape. And Call it there. Now I'm going to do a little bit of like contouring. I'm going to use the Fenty Matchstick in Amber. And I'm just going to go from the top of my ear down. I find that that's a good way to kind of navigate my cheekbones. I'm going to take the sponge, I'm going to blend it out. And call it there. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some foundation on. I'm going to roll my sleeves up a little. I'm going to use the Bite Changemaker foundation in L10. I'm just going to squirt a little out on my hand. I like that this is a squeeze bottle and there's no wasted product. I'm just going to take some and dot it on my face. Kind of get it all over. Probably using a little bit too much, but I do have some acne going on here, so we're going to deal with it. So now I'm going to take the flat side of my sponge and just blend it in. And I'm just bouncing the sponge over my skin. I'm just going to move my hair out of the way so I can get my forehead. Kind of get down on my eyebrows. Kind of blend it into the concealer. Down my neck. My ear. I'm going to get the other side. So then down the neck a little. And through the forehead. So I have a few kind of pimply areas through here. I'm going to take my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Chantilly. I'm just going to take a little bit and I'm going to dot it on that area. Got a couple areas. I'm just going to dot it on and I'm going to let it sit for a second. While I let that sit, I'm going to finish up my underneath my eye. So I'm going to take, this is a dual-ended pencil brush with like a buffer. I'm going to go into that Player 1 shade, the medium purple, work underneath my eyelid or eyelash, kind of on both sides. I'm going to take the buffing end, I'm going to buff it out, and kind of buff it out and away. So if you get a little bit of fallout, you can just kind of tap over it and you're good. So now I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to kind of tap that concealer in. Letting it sit for a second means that it kind of starts to set so that when you tap it and you go over it with a sponge, it's less likely to kind of pick up any product. I'm just going to get there and I'm just going to get that one too. I'm going to take my sponge and kind of go over those areas to make them blend into the foundation. Kind of get some areas where I'm going to set foundation. So there's that. I'm going to powder my face. I'm going to do my brows off camera, put some lashes on, and come back to finish the face. Okay, so I've got my eyelashes on. These are the Colourpop Falsies in Chick. Can't really see that, but I'm going to finish off my face. I'm going to start off by bronzing. I'm going to use Fenty Beauty's Stalk'r in the Sun. It's a nice kind of cool bronzer. I'm going to take a dual fiber brush and just kind of get the hollows of my cheeks up around the sides of my face. Just going to the other side. Around my face, and then I'm just going to kind of get up on my forehead. Next thing I'm going to do is a little bit of blush. I'm going to take a Smith 118 brush, and I'm going to take, this is from the NARS Hot Tryst Cheek Palette, and I'm going to take this shade right here, this nice dark one, just kind of a little bit. I'm going to get it on the apples of my cheeks and kind of work it backwards in a draping motion. And gonna get it on the other side. Now I'm going to take a contour brush from Real Techniques, and I'm going to go right into this highlighter shade right here. It is called King's Road. I'm just going to take it on my high points around the C shape, and down onto the blush, and up and around. I'm also going to take it down the bridge of my nose and on my Cupid's bow. Now I'm going to take my blending brush, or my brush for my powder, kind of blend the three together. And now I'm going to spritz my face with some Fix Plus. I'm going to take my sponge and I'm just going to kind of press the powder and the product into my skin, kind of melding it all together, making it nice and seamless and a little less powdery. Once that's done, I'm going to take my makeup wipe off the foundation and lip balm I had on my lips. Kind of go over it real quick with the sponge. And I'm going to take Sugarpill's liquid lipstick in the shade Cherish, and I'm just going to put it on. And I'm just going to let my hair down, and that's the finished look. I hope you like this. If you do, give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe. You can check me out on Instagram at Fueled by Makeup. On Twitter, it's linked in my Instagram, but it's Cassie, M-O-I-S-E-R. It's basically my name. And I'll see you in the next one.